Okay, in today's video, we're going to talk about how to take content and actually transform it into a short form podcast or audio recording. So, I'm going to walk you through a couple of steps that I took just before hitting record here. Earlier today, I was reading Ethan Mollick's most recent article on Substack, where he talks about the concept of thinking of AI as your intern. And I thought, well, this is a really interesting concept. I'm going to take it and see how I can reformat it into my own content. Obviously, for purposes of this video, not necessarily, for plagiarism, of course. The idea is, to demonstrate how we can take content. Maybe it's an article that we've written or an idea that we're going to start with that we're going to then morph into our own concepts by adding things. And that's exactly what I ended up doing. So I took the text here from this article, and then I brought it over into ChatGPT. And I had one of my personas that's specialized in or trained in thinking about things from a copywriting perspective, a sales copywriting perspective. And I said to it, I'd like to give you an article. After you read the article, you will revise the content in the style and tone of a LinkedIn post, because that was the first thing I was going to try out, using the Quest formula. This is a classic copywriting formula. There is no call to action other than to encourage engagement with the post. Are you ready for the article? And then it said it was, so I then pasted the article in. And here's what I ended up getting as a result, right? It followed the Quest framework, right? Question, understand, educate, stimulate, and then transition. And it was perfectly fine. I didn't really love all of the it really pulled a lot of the very specific elements from Ethan's article, and I was looking to try to generally encapsulate the assistant concept. So then I sort of abandoned that idea, and then I said, okay, well, thanks. Now let's take the same source content and turn it into a script for a 5-minute podcast episode using a similar structure to Quest, but with a lot more detailed information. The call to action is to encourage listeners who are interested in incorporating AI technology in their business to visit AICoterie.com to learn about the 90 plus 60 AI implementation. The only text you should include in your response is the script. I should have had a T there. Maybe it would have followed my instructions. Nothing else. My point was that I didn't want it to have the introduction and question the way that it had sort of give me the sections up above. But I failed in telling it to do that. That's okay. This wasn't a long result, and so I was able to, obviously edit it. A couple of things that I didn't think about including in my prompt here were things like, what did I want the episode or the podcast to be called? So it made up a name, Tech Frontier. I didn't really like that, so I changed it, and you'll see that in the final form. And then the other thing that I really didn't love was the ending, and it was in part because of the fact that it was sort of tying in the frontier in the closing. So I actually had a different sign-off written. The last thing was that there was some very specific language in here that I didn't really like, and because the next step involved me taking it over into an AI voice generator, it was pronouncing a few things a little funny. It wasn't structured in a way that it actually flowed all that well when I played it the first time. And so I ended up editing in a few additional words here and there. I'll show you what I ended up doing. So then I took it over to 11 Labs. If you're not familiar with 11 Labs, it is at 11labs.com. And I have in here, let me just bring this up. I have uploaded a bunch of audio recordings of my voice, and as a result, I have samples that it has then used to generate an AI version of my voice. Now, I'll remind you that I made a couple of changes. So the first thing was that I changed the name of the show and a little bit of the explanation of what the show's called. I also then went in and broke up a couple of the sections. I changed a few words here, but this was really just to make the sound of the content flow a little bit better. So I just added in sort of the beginnings to each of these sentences here. And then finally, I swapped out the closing for the one that I generated after I changed the name of the show. And then I hit generate. Actually, there was one other thing that I did, and that was that I played around with the variation on both the voice stability and the clarity and similarity enhancement. And I found that around here, where there's more variable expression and a little bit higher clarity, was the closest I was able to get to my voice after generating it like 5 different times. And so I'm going to just give you a sample of what it ended up sounding like.
Welcome back to AI in Small Business, the podcast for AI-curious small business owners and marketers. Today, we'll be exploring an intriguing concept, thinking of AI as your new intern. Yes, you heard it right, your digital intern. Intrigued? Let's dive in. First off, have you ever considered your AI as something more than just a software?
Now I'm just going to pause that. You notice that it really didn't sound like me, or at least didn't have my expressive tone until intrigued. Let's dive in. First off, so I don't know how much more tweaking I plan to do with this because I'm not really using this anywhere. But that's something that I may want to try to figure out. How do I enhance? Let's continue a little bit more.
As an assistant, perhaps, or even an intern, it's a shift in perspective that could revolutionize the way we interact with AI. Consider this. The rapid advancements in AI technology have opened up a world where your digital assistant becomes more like a digital intern, a digital worker with its own strengths and weaknesses. While this might seem like a foreign concept, studies have shown that leveraging AI can boost productivity by a whopping 30 to 80% in some tasks, particularly writing and coding. Let's imagine we can categorize tasks into 4 types, just like you would with a human intern.
Now, again, that shift from writing and coding and then let's imagine, there's something a little clunky there. I'm not sure how to clean it up, but it wasn't terrible. So we'll continue on.
First, there are just me tasks, which are tasks that are best done by you, where AI might be more of a hindrance than a help. There are delegated tasks you would delegate to.
Now, I just noticed as I was listening to it that I wrote there are as opposed to then there are. So I would have to go back and hit generate again to get the next version of that.
The AI, which you then review. And there's shared tasks where you and your AI work together, combining human ingenuity with AI efficiency. And finally, automated tasks that you leave entirely up to the AI. In practice, you may find the value of AI varies significantly across these tasks. For example, if you're a confident writer with a unique style, you may not find much value in AI for writing tasks. Whereas if you struggle with staring at a blank page, AI could be a real game changer. It's all about figuring out where your AI intern fits into your workflow. So I invite you to challenge your perspective and explore the potential of your AI intern in these categories. Keep in mind that the AI we have today is only the beginning. AI models are evolving and improving all the time. Understanding and anticipating the future capabilities of AI will give you an edge in planning for success and identifying potential pitfalls. And that wraps up this episode of AI in Small Business. If this discussion has piqued your interest and you're considering how AI can be implemented into your business, I encourage you to visit AICOTERIE.com to discover our 90 plus 60 AI implementation designed to help businesses like yours make the most out of AI technology. As always, stay curious, stay innovative, and let's continue to grow our businesses smarter, not harder. Until next time, this is AI in Small Business, helping you turn bites into big achievements.
All right, so there you go. Now, I noticed one other thing. Actually, there was another place where it said there instead of then I have to fix. And it didn't pronounce the name of the website correctly. It said COTERIE, not COTERIE. And so I need to figure out, do I need to adjust anything? Maybe if I add an A there, it might pronounce it correctly. So those are the few elements. There is one other thing I noticed. it's not 5 minutes long. It's 2.5 minutes long. And while that's not a terrible thing, it does remind me that giving such specific instructions like 5 minutes or 500 words numbers is not something that ChatGPT is especially good at the moment. And so we always have to sort of double check and see if it was really important that that was 5 minutes long. What do I need to do to enhance the length of it? And really, it wasn't important to me here, but it was something that I noticed. And if it did matter, I would have to have gone back and adjusted it accordingly. So, as always, this is David Baer, and if you're interested in our 90 plus 60 AI implementation or learning anything more about the various courses that we offer over at AI Coterie, please do come visit us at, conveniently, it's right here on the screen, aicoterie.com.